Why should you care about self-discovery? Why should you care about who you are on the inside? Why should you care about the identity you bring to the table? Would you believe me if I told you that every organisation is simply a reflection of the people in charge, and it's their collective identity that defines a company's performance? Doesn't matter if you're a startup, large organisation, maybe you're just trying to take the lead on your own life. Maybe you're not sure why things keep happening to you. Maybe you just have a low level of self-awareness. Understanding yourself, becoming yourself is synonymous with becoming a leader. It's precisely that simple and also that difficult. Now, what does that mean? You might not realise you've suffered from traumatic experiences. You might not realise you have a low level of self-awareness. You might not realise you're a black and white thinker. You might not realise that other people are simply navigating who you are to get to where they want to be. Maybe there's a recurring pattern or recurring theme in your life that keeps happening over and over again. You're not entirely sure why. Now, the reason I'm presenting this video like I am is I'm trying to get in touch with your emotions. I'm trying to get inside of who you are. If there's something that sits inside what I'm saying, if there's something that you can't quite reconcile with, that's a very good place to start. And if you don't understand about the self-discovery stuff, 85% of us is below the surface. That means if you're not doing these self-reflective questions, if you're not keeping a journal, if you're not getting outside support from a coach, a psychotherapist, or some kind of a counsellor, you're leaving 85% of who you are off the table. Having some sort of a fixed mindset, maybe a false identity, and living in that picture of reality for your entire life is very real. There's nothing wrong to ask yourself, could something be wrong with me? Childhood trauma is an epidemic, and doing things to cope with what happened in the past is very real. Now, speaking from personal experience here, it takes a long time before you actually question yourself, before you actually look inside and say, is something actually wrong with me? And that's a huge part of my story, which has gotten me to where I am now, stood here making this video, verbally dialecting what I want to say in a emotional, intuitive manner that sits with what I'm trying to get across. Now, for some people that sounds quite normal. Of course you're going to say what you want to say in a concise manner. Why wouldn't you? Not everybody has what is an integrated self, that is living in harmony with their own reality, that is their ability to process their own emotions, that is ability to understand themselves, how they're coming across, what it is they're doing, the behaviours they're attached to. Maybe you did adopt a false identity, maybe you haven't known which way to turn. Maybe you've been trying to reconcile with yourself through success. Maybe you've been chasing that job or chasing that material possession to make you who you are. Some kind of external force to compensate for something that could be going on inside. And I'm not making this video trying to make you feel bad. I'm not making this video trying to sell you something, but self-discovery is so real. Understanding yourself, becoming yourself, finding out who you are and bringing that person out into the world so you can simply live as your full authentic self is very real. Now, the reason it's so difficult is because this idea of getting out your own way, understanding what's inside, moving through who you are, it's a very strange, very deep, very complex topic to talk about and go into, but it's the only way I can really communicate this idea of living with a false self and unwinding what might have happened to you. If you're somebody that wants to become a leader, if you want to become that person that others admire, knowing yourself and self-awareness is absolutely key. Not having an integrated self, not understanding your strengths and weaknesses and how people are different to you is going to make the journey far more challenging. But if this is you, if you don't sit very well with who you are, you're probably still on your hero's journey. You're probably still trying to figure out what was inside. Maybe you had your identity taken from you. Maybe you took yourself to a place that you didn't want to be. Maybe you continue to strive to be somebody that actually you're not. And this process of letting go is going to allow your full self free and allow you to actually live the life that you do want, that you're chasing, but because you can't let go of this identity of who you should be, your full self can't come into fruition and you become the way that you can be. Now, unfortunately, I can't help you over a video. I can't tell you what to do next because I don't know you. Your dreams, your desires, your goals, your history, who you are, how you work is very different to me, and everyone's hero's journey will be different. Everyone becoming their full self is going to have your own challenges. There's going to be things that I can do that you can't. There's going to be things that you have to face that I don't. But building your own identity, becoming yourself is going to help you take the lead on your own life. Maybe you do want to start that business. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to be calmer in who you are. Maybe you want to be stronger, more capable. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to work for yourself. I don't know, but leadership and knowing yourself really go hand in hand. Get out of your own way. Navigate from the false self to more of the true self. Now, if you haven't heard this concept before, the false self is this theory in our young lives that we adopt a false identity because we don't have the right amount of love or the right amount of support for who we truly are. Maybe you had to perform a certain way, act a certain part. Maybe you had to be codependent and support other people in who they were being. And there wasn't the time for you to experience yourself and become your full self. Now, unfortunately, this is something you can carry with you for your entire life. But the good news is you can unwind it. You can get inside yourself. You can bring those buried emotions up to the surface, process them through your body as you move towards having more of an integrated self. That's living in harmony with your reality when you're able to understand your own emotions, your intuition. You're able to reference who other people are in comparison to yourself. You're able to build relationships in a far better manner than you would be able to before because you're in touch with who you are. You're in touch with other people. You understand the barriers other people have. You understand how you work. It's this continued cycle of self-awareness as you move into somewhere different, as you become your full self and become that person that you are capable of becoming. Now, the good news is who you are, the answers you need are inside. You are still carrying that person around inside of yourself and changing the space in front of you. For example, the space between me and this camera is very, very real. Finding that safe space to address difficult issues, speaking to that psychotherapist, keeping a journal, speaking to people outside of your close circle, you might just gain something new. You might understand something about yourself which you haven't understood before. Have you ever had some kind of an epiphany, some kind of an outside noise, something which hasn't quite sat with who you are, that's played on your mind for a while? Spend time with it, write about it, explore it, speak to a therapist about it, get it outside of who you are and bring it into your conscious realm. If 85% of us is below the surface and you're not doing some kind of self-work, keeping that journal, talking to a therapist, then you're going to be missing out on 85% of your life. And operating with a 15% mentality can be extremely challenging. It can be extremely difficult. It's going to create tension, difficulty, undue stress. It's going to make your life far more challenging than it needs to be. And getting out of your own way is the key. But unfortunately, I can't tell you over a video. I can't tell you your hero's journey. I don't know what the most significant events in your life were. I don't know what you've overcome. I don't know what you're looking to achieve. And I don't know why you're watching this video, which is very unfortunate. But there are changes you can make. You can do things differently. You can listen to what I'm saying. You can keep a journal. You can spend more time with your emotions. You can become the person you're capable of becoming, and carrying that identity around with you will change everything for you. If you want to build something incredible, if you want to build something extraordinary, you need a strong foundation in who you are. You have to understand how you work, what can you bring to the table, what are the challenges you're going to face going forward, and how do you get that out of yourself in a manner that suits everybody so you can move together as one. A successful organisation is nothing more than the shared identity of people understanding who they are and where they're going and working together to continually solve problems. Becoming a leader is synonymous with becoming yourself. It's precisely that simple and also that difficult.